Hello and welcome to Faithful Footsteps. We are doing what? We are remaining faithful as we follow God's footsteps. You guys, I know it has been quite some time since I've done a video. I'm gonna be real honest with you. My phone and the space. I have a iPhone 15 Pro, and I kept starting the X24, and oh, it was just wouldn't let me be great. And I ain't gonna lie, I became a little discouraged. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I hope that this Saturday has found you doing great, fantastic, and well. Can you believe that we are in the month of September? September the 14th. I can't believe it. But anyway, again, Acts 24, the NLT version. We know we talking about Paul. And it say 5 days later, Ananias the high priest arrived with some of the elders, Jewish elders, and a lawyer, Tertellus, to present their case against Paul to the governor. It's so funny that they are so adamant about finding Paul guilty. And we all know that the only thing that Paul was guilty of was loving Jesus Christ, was serving him wholeheartedly and being faithful to him in everything that he did. And that was really the only thing that Paul was guilty of. And he was and to them they felt like that he shouldn't have been speaking about the resurrection and things of that nature, because back there in that time they had some people who believed in it and some who didn't believe in it, and they felt that Paul was like false teaching, right, to the people, and that he should be thrown in jail. So when Paul was called in, Tertellus presented the charges against Paul in the following address to the governor. Okay, so you have provided a long period of peace for us Jews, and with foresight had enacted reforms for us. First, for all of this, Your Excellency, we're very grateful to you. But I don't want to bore you, so please give me your attention for a moment. It's like you could just imagine them, in court somewhere, and instead of them standing in front of the judge, they're standing in front of the governor pleading their case. You have, right, the prosecution, who is Tertellus and the other people, and then you have the defendant, who is Paul, right? Okay, and so it's like he's giving his opening statement, right, like they do in court. And so he's saying that we found this man to be a troublemaker who is constantly stirring up riots among the Jews all over the world. And we know that people all over the world, wherever Paul went, they were very upset. And they really was upset because Paul was telling them the truth, and he was teaching them about the way. And then the Bible say that you know the truth, and the truth is going to make you free, right? And Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? So he was preaching about Jesus, and they did not like it. He said he's a ringleader of a cult known as the Nazarenes. Furthermore, he was trying to desecrate the temple when we arrested him. You can find out the truth of the accusation by examining him yourself. Then the other Jews chimed in, declaring that everything Tertellus said was true, because I don't know if you remember they had made this pact that they was not going to eat right until Paul was killed. And I say, I don't know how long it's been from that day to this here chapter. I said, but I wonder, did any of them eat? And if they did still, fast or whatever, were they still alive? Because you have to be some kind of mad at people to make yourself not be in a position to eat until they are dead. You some kind of special. And that's really not what fasting is about. The same way you don't understand God is the same way you don't understand fasting. Okay, so we're going to say that the prosecution has rested this case. Now it's time for the defendant to defend himself. So the government motioned for Paul to speak. And Paul said, I know, sir. Okay, his opening statement that you've been a judge of Jewish affairs for many years. So I gladly present my defense before you. Yeah, I don't know if I'm excited about this or what's going on because I haven't talked to you in a while. I feel like I am talking super fast. He said, you can quickly discover that I arrived in Jerusalem no more than 12 days ago to worship at the temple. And my accusers never found me arguing with anyone in the temple, nor stirring up a riot in any synagogue or on the streets of the city. These men cannot prove the things that they are accusing me of. He said, but I do admit that I follow the way which they call a cult. I worship the God of our ancestors, and I firmly believe the Jewish law and everything written in the prophets. I have the same hope in God that these men have, that he will raise both the righteous and the unrighteous. Because of this, I always try to maintain a clear conscience before God and all the people. After several years away, I returned to Jerusalem with money to aid my people and offer sacrifices to God. And my accusers, they saw me in the temple as I was completing the purification ceremony. There was no crowd around me and there was no rioting. But some Jews from the province of Asia were there, and they ought to be here to bring charges if they have anything against me. Ask these men here what crime the Jewish High Council found me guilty of, except for the one time I shouted out, I am on trial before you today because I believe in the resurrection of the dead. Okay, and then at that point, Felix, who was quite familiar with the way, adjourned the hearing and said, wait until, I guess that's Lysias, Lysias, the garrison commander arrives. Then I will decide the case. So he ordered an officer to keep Paul in custody, but to give him some freedom and allow his friends to visit him and take care of his needs. Okay, so a few days later, Felix came back with his wife Drusilla, who was Jewish, sending for Paul. So they listened as he told them about faith in Jesus Christ. And as he reasoned with them about righteousness and self-control and the coming day of judgment, Felix became frightened. He told him, go away for now, he replied. When it is more convenient, I'll call for you again. He also hoped that Paul would bribe him, so he sent for him quite often and talked with him. Isn't that pitiful? That it's not that he was trying to find, because he already had, it said earlier that he already knew, he was familiar, with the way. So it was not that he was interested in what Paul was saying. He thought that Paul was going to try to bribe him for his freedom. It's like he was setting Paul up. That's why you really have to be careful in who you talking to. And the thing is, God being so loving. And it doesn't say that here. But God does not leave you ignorant, baby. When you belong to God, God already know the plan. Even when he said, for I know the plan that I have for you, right? Plan to prosper you. And that's for the people who are walking in him. But just the same way that God has a plan for you, don't you know that he already knows the plan that the enemy has? He already know that this here dude, Felix, was trying to set up Paul. And that's why he kept calling for him several times, because he thought that Paul was going to bribe him. But that's not what happened. And then it say after 2 years went by in this way, Felix was succeeded by Porcius Festus. And because Felix wanted to gain favor with the Jewish people, he left Paul in prison. And again, I thought Felix was sending for Paul because he wanted to know more about the way, because he was familiar with the way, but he didn't know about the way. But he did not. He was trying to catch Paul in a bribe. He was trying to set Paul up for destruction, because the thing is, really, they didn't have any reason to hold him. And looked like the only reason why he kept Paul in prison was to be popular. You know anybody who be doing wrong and they know that they doing wrong, but they just trying to do it so that they remain popular with the people? And there's a lot of people now, because, and it's sad to say, being like me, It's not popular. What do you mean, Sharik? I'm so glad you asked. Being straight, being heterosexual, right? It's not popular. Being a homosexual is popular. Being of the LGBTQ plus community is what's popular. That's what's famous nowadays. And no, I don't have anything against them. That's between them and God. I don't promote it, but I don't hate nobody. That's between them and God. But what I'm saying and what I do hate is the fact that just because that's the way that's popular, that they try to condemn the people who are not. And what is that really showing? It's really like the script has flipped, right? And so the hate that they once received, now they point it on us. So where is the win in that all, right? So anyway, that's basically the end of 24. But yes, a lot of people out here, instead of them trying to win souls for Christ or do what's right, they more about concerned about being popular and gaining friends and things of that nature. And the thing is, did you ever see Jesus worrying about gaining a friend? He wasn't worried about gaining a friend. And you either was walking with Jesus or you was not walking with Jesus. Jesus was the best friend, and he still is the best friend that you could ever have in this life. But people don't want to be his friend because they don't want to walk 100% in his way. But I'm telling you, he is the way, the only way. So anyway, I pray that this blessed you today. We are almost out of Acts. And I will see you guys again. Have a good, great, fantastic rest of your Saturday.